Hey friends, good evening. A little impromptu Friday Night Live starting here at the Met. 7:12. Let's see. 82 degrees Fahrenheit, still pretty warm. We've been having these amazing sunsets, so I figured we'd try to see if we walked towards the water what we could see. Kevin's here, good to see you. Happy Friday. Here in front of the Met right now. One of my favorite places in the city. Like I said, we're going to try to walk towards the water tonight and see how the sunset is looking. We're going to walk through Central Park, which does sometimes have some buffering, so we shall see. But it was so beautiful yesterday. Thought we'd check it out. Mr. Adams here, good to see you. Yeah, we're going again. There was a beautiful sunset yesterday, and I wanted to see what the situation was tonight. Bernard is here, good to see you. So we're gonna walk into Central Park. We just started at the Met. Gonna walk into Central Park. Bear with me if we have any buffering in the park. And we're gonna walk west. Sue K's here, hello. All the way in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Adam, all the way on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Lisa M is here, my beautiful wife. So this was a very prolific day. I tried a walk yesterday. I'm effectively recreating a walk I took yesterday, which just didn't work out very well. So we'll try again. And then I posted the Brooklyn Botanic. This is a week of trying. So I posted the Brooklyn Botanic Garden video, which we did as a premiere, so we had a nice chat. And now we're going live, so it's a 3-video Friday. And obviously, as we get started, I want to pay my respects to Fang, who I was just really beginning to get to know. Very familiar face on many of the New York Live channels. And he was one of the most welcoming, positive energy, kind people immediately. And as our little channel kind of gets off the ground, he was joining us early on. So terribly sad news about his passing. If you knew Fang and want to share any memories or anything, obviously please go ahead. So this is Central Park. Gonna pop in. We're hunting for a sunset tonight. So last night I attempted to do some nighttime photography, which I think I've shared before. Been filming a lot with a GoPro, and its kryptonite is darkness. So I was fooling around with some settings, and the color was exceptional in my opinion, but I shot the stabilization to hell, so that didn't work out. So I put together a small little video with just a few of the clips from it that I thought were usable. Definitely check that out. Put some music to it. Kind of nice. Adam says Fang was good people. Yeah, he certainly was. Bernard had heard about it. Yeah, I mean, and he was so young. Really sad. Folks are playing frisbee here. So if you watch that nighttime video I took till the end, you'll see the Central Park Woolman rink, which is usually the ice skating rink, but during summer has been Disco Oasis. You know, and I've seen it a few times on daytime walks and noticed it hasn't really been terribly busy. Adam saying, thought we'd go through the Traverse. No, we always take the scenic route, and the route most likely to get me out of breath. There's a method to the madness, which is if we go towards the castle, there can be really incredible views over there, so we shall see. So yeah, I was here pretty late, and the Disco Oasis was incredibly packed last night. So it turns out it's more of a nighttime thing, which I guess makes sense. The lighting there at night is really incredible. It would be very hard to film over there live because we're just blasting copyrighted music. Joanna's here, 82 degrees here, 7:16. Yeah, I think it's about 82 degrees here in New York City. It's a little warm, but the sun is coming down. I see some geese. God, they're getting so big. This is Turtle Pond that we're coming up on. Yeah, Joanne, it's super sad. Leela's here. Good to see you, Leela. I don't know if you guys can see all the turtles. So this is called Turtle Pond for a reason. You can see all the little heads popping out. I guess she's feeding them. It's very cliche to say gone too soon, but at 39 years old, oof.
Don't worry, I got you. No, I'm trying to hit my ball.
Lisa says that's a great view. Yeah, I mean, all the bodies of water in Central Park are really beautiful. So coming up on the Great Lawn with a view of the Belvedere Castle, which I think is where we'll head for now. Try to catch the light. Does not look as dramatic as yesterday, but we will take what we can get. A lot of picnics here on this lawn. And it looks like the Great Lawn is empty, so maybe they letting the grass rest. Totally empty. Okay, we will walk towards the castle and try to get a view.
Bordering on it and like,
And then we shall see. Lots of folks lined up. I wonder if there's Shakespeare in the Park tonight, if anybody can let me know. I imagine so. Richard III.
I thought, by the way, I thought we were going to do this home together. So that's why I was like, we need to be here before 7:30.
Fine. I ended up just taking a call from the road that I would have. And then I actually bailed on there was a follow-up call that I just set up.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I was.
This is like the busiest I've seen this area in a long time.
What gate are you on?
Okay,
It's really
Clinton is here, says it's a nice treat for Friday evening. Well, hey, thank you for hopping on. A little impromptu. But it's kind of a nice evening. We are chasing sunsets. Gosh, there's so many people here for the theater. That's awesome. All right, we're going to take the shortcut up tonight. Lisa confirms, As You Like It is playing at 8 p.m. Joanne's husband made them fried codfish. Ooh, and she made a key lime pie. Incredible. Key lime is a favorite. Lisa and I were watching a YouTube video earlier. Kenji, the cook, who did a 5-ingredient strawberry shortcake that looked pretty incredible. So that'll be on the to-do list one of these days. Great summer treat as summer comes to a close.
¿Lo viste, papá?
¿Qué? No me di cuenta.
Yeah, that sounds really good. All right, it looks to me like we might have been 5 minutes late, but we get what we can get. So first we'll look east. Get some of the reflecting light on those clouds. That's where we just were, down at Turtle Pond. This is what I was hoping to see, but it looks like we might have missed the most impressive part. Unfortunately, just beneath the tree line now. But really beautiful. I think what we're gonna do, yeah, I mean, it's not shabby, can't complain. I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna continue westward, because once we get to the water, then you can really see it, whatever's left. So we're gonna hustle on over to the Greenway. Bernard sunset, 7:38, 7:27. Well, we'll see what we can see, and then no matter what, once the sun comes down, of course we get the city lighting up, and we'll walk towards the south, where we should be able to see some pretty great building views. So onwards, campers, we're going westward bound.
Oh yeah, so what age you went to?
Usually accepted.
Adam says one of his favorite desserts, 3-ingredient chocolate cherry dump cake. Cherry pie filling, Duncan Hines devil food cake mix, and butter, that's it. So easy, even I can figure it out. That sounds great.
I feel like
Early on in the 2020 era of home cooking, I bought a bunch of those super fancy maraschino cherries, the Luxardo ones. Holy cow, those are good. If you want like a, semi-affordable luxury, really recommend checking those out.
I mean,
So, Sunday.
Joanne says summer's fun, but I like all of the seasons. Well, after some of the 90-degree weather, we are ready for it to cool off. Christian's here. Good to see you, Christian. Thank you for hopping on. We were attempting a little bit of a sunset hunt. I think we might have started a touch too late, but we're going to go west to the water and try to see what we can see. The colors last night, Christian commented, so I know he saw it, but at least I caught some of the colors last night. It was breathtaking. Thought it would be fun to try to catch it live. Adam says they use the maraschino cherries for old fashions. Yeah, Lisa's the house bartender, which is rather unfair to her right now, of course. But she has been making some interesting cocktails using the cherries. And I actually have a bottle of cherry liqueur, so got to figure out some interesting drinks we can use some of those for. Open to recommendations. Hint, hint. Lisa says, baby's kicking up a storm. He's an active guy. Yeah, Lisa doesn't sleep a lot anymore. Although I think the It's the nausea that's a little more frustrating right now. All right, let this car go. Yes, yes. Keeping an eye, make sure the lights don't change. Oh, let's cross the street so we can walk alongside the... This is the American Museum of Natural History, one of the most fun places in New York City. We'll have to take Mini Bagel here one day. Funny thing is, I don't mean this in a bad way, but like huge amounts of the museum never change. So you know some of the dioramas you saw, you'll still be able to see later, although they probably now have plaques explaining why. They might be a little less politically correct these days. What I haven't done in a long time that would be fun is the planetarium. Wonder what's going on there these days. Adam mentions cocktail crate mixer, spiced old fashioned, tastes like apple pie. Holy cow, that sounds pretty tasty. Oh, I meant to say, so on my community page, that's where you can post, you know, things other than videos. So I posted a sunset picture the other night. I know some of you saw that. We were at a restaurant called Rosemary's, originally from the West Village. There's one on the east side now. And I had a spritz that night, which is the Italian aperitivo, kind of pre-dinner drink with orange flavors and some effervescence, usually Prosecco. That was really good. And then the sunset that night, I posted the picture. Unbelievable. I had to go stand in the middle of the street. Safely. Karina's here, hello. Chuck is here, hello. Yeah, Lisa has lost taste for many things she loved, which is unfortunate. So we're now on the west side. We've crossed the park. This is the Upper West Side. Some of the most beautiful townhouses, brownstones, and apartment buildings in the city. But we're gonna walk kind of right past them because we are heading west. We are westward bound for the water. Scott Briggs gave up alcohol in 2003 or so. Hey, congrats. I imagine that did very good things for your health. Hermcheck says, Uno, Gabe's old stomping grounds. I told you guys, if you want to have Chicago pizza in New York City, the answer is Emmett's, not Uno. Emmett's down in the West Village on McDougal Street. I think it's like McDougal and King, if I remember correctly. And if you've never had Chicago pizza and only know it from people making fun of it, you should give it a try. Theirs is quite good. It's very different than New York pizza for sure, and it will put you to sleep, but it's quite good. Yeah, Scott, there used to be 2 Pizzeria Unos in the city. Now that's the last one, as far as I know. Lisa said bearded townhouse on the right. I'm sorry I'm going so quickly. I'm just trying to get us to the water as fast as I can. I want to catch when the sun gets really low and the sky sort of gets blue. I'd really like to get that if we can. And the unfortunate thing is, I think if I remember correctly, this is like not an ideal spot to enter the west, to enter like Riverside Park. But we do what we can. Well, I mean, it should be close. What is this guy doing? That is what we call a bad driver running the red. Oh, Adam, I have a joke for you. Well, not really a joke. But sometime next week, I guess, I have a video of Canal Street. And I was very tempted to title it, "My Argument in Favor of Congestion Pricing." And if you don't know about Canal Street, you'll get a great indication of it soon enough. Christian asked about Detroit style, and Lisa mentioned Buddy's, which is an absolute favorite. If you're not familiar with Detroit style pizza, it's yet another. We are big fans of all regional variants of pizza, although we haven't had them all. I've had quite a few of them. So Chicago's very, it's the deep dish, although in Chicago there's actually bar-style pizzas, which are super, like, cracker thin. But most people's conception of Chicago pizza is the deep dish. Detroit is also, you'd look at it and you'd say, oh, that's thick pizza, but it's actually very light. Well, I should say it's lighter than you think. But yeah, the way they cook it, the edge is covered in cheese, which kind of, some who don't know would call burn. Those who do know would say caramelize in the pan. And if you know the term frico, F-R-I-C-O, which is sort of cheese cooked until it becomes like a cracker, the sort of perimeter of the pizza becomes like a frico. And I shouldn't have to explain, it tastes unbelievably good. There are some versions of that in New York City. Now actually there's a few. So the first that I was aware of is Emmy squared, which is good, although I would argue Detroit style pizza is working man's pizza, working person's pizza, I guess I should say. And Emmy uses the fanciest ingredients, so it's a little bit of it's a little different than what I conceptualize. Then there's lions, tigers, and squares down in like Chelsea, which is, I think, by the people who do artichoke basil. And it's very good, but if you've ever had the real thing, I think theirs is pretty heavy, which is also true of artichoke basil's pizza in general. It's kind of very thick and heavy. And then recently we've gotten a couple locations of Jets, which is like, it's a chain version of it from Detroit. And I would say, actually, to my taste, that's the closest to what you would get in Detroit. But everybody one day needs to go to Detroit and have buddies, the real thing. To me, that's like, oof. And Lisa absolutely adores it. It's on our list one day to maybe do that gold belly thing, you know, where you order food, you know, dry iced, and then you heat it up yourself. We may do that one day. Okay, so we've made it to Riverside, but now we have to figure out yeah, we have to do the boat basin again. Okay. So the thing with Riverside and Hudson River Greenway is there's only so many entrances. So we're gonna walk to the 79th Street boat basin. Christian's asking if there are buddies in New York. Unfortunately, no. As far as I know, it's only in Detroit and the kind of surrounding area. I mean, maybe it's like in broad swath of Michigan for all I know, but I'm not aware of it being outside of Michigan. Adam says, Pizza Collective, you're in the neighborhood, picks them up Broadway and 71st. Well, adding it to the list. I don't actually think I've had Pizza Collective. I have had Mama's too, which was really good. I feel like I'm missing something Lisa said. Talking about the market, I know it dropped pretty precipitously today. St. Mark's Pizza. My Pie in Long Island, that sounds pretty good. All right, we've entered Riverside Park. Oh, Lisa was probably referencing the townhouse. Yeah, I don't think I was trying to read the chat, which is... Some people, I'm very impressed at their ability to do all this stuff. I would say for me, it's a work in progress. Lane asks, what is the weather going to be like on Saturday and Sunday? Well, I thought it was going to be actually mid-80s, so not too bad. Pretty hot, but not unbearably hot. So we're about to walk into the 79th Street boat basin, which is going to look very sketchy. Bear with me. My Pie was in Hicksville. We're familiar with Hicksville. So I'll give you a piece of advice that I got once, which is, of course, when you travel, you should have the food that is authentic to the place you're traveling. But I actually think it's really smart to try things that you're very familiar with in other places. So I know for some people, for example, that can be eating, you know, McDonald's somewhere and getting, you know, something that they only make in the country you're in. So for example, I know in India they have lots of vegetarian stuff that they don't have in any other market. But I more mean, if you go to China, have Mexican food. So you can experience what their take on a totally, you know, a different culture is. So, you know, go to New York, have Chicago pizza, why not? Told you this looked a little sketchy. It's under construction. It used to be a bar and restaurant, and then has been closed for quite a while. They're doing work on it. I don't know what's happening with it though. If anybody knows and wants to add into the chat, let me know. Be very curious. But over here, if you watched my little video, this is the pier, which is great for sunsets. Très romantic. You're like, so the thing is, I think we're actually going to keep walking south. I think we missed, unfortunately, the best of the sunset. So our next attempt is New York City skyline. So that's what we'll do. And in the meantime, we'll have beautiful water views. You can hear the piers, the noise that they make as they go up and down in the water. Okay, precarious intersection, trying to not get hit. Scott says, I think Pizza Hut had deep dish in the 70s. Unfortunately, I missed that, but I am very familiar with the Pizza Hut, you know, the when they used to do real dining in. And in the heyday, I thought their pan pizza was like one of the best things. So if you come over here, last night somebody was feeding the pigeons, and it was like the movie Birds, the Hitchcock movie, of course. It was hilarious. I will say, I know that, like, some people are really into that. I don't understand it. Lisa, not a fan of birds. Adam says the water sounds are great. Yeah, I'm trying to stay pretty close to it, and I think the way I have the mic situated is facing it. So hopefully we'll get it as we walk. Yeah, New York at night. Well, first, a sunset if you can get it. And I think I just started like 15 minutes too late, unfortunately. But in a little bit, we'll start to see the lower Manhattan skyline. And the Midtown skyline, like Hudson Yards and stuff. It's really nice. Really, really nice. And I think for... Al comes out here a decent amount. Whoa, did you see this? Wow. Beautiful. I was going to say, I think the waterfront is not as popular a stream as I think it could be. I think there's a decent chance we actually may get some Hudson River water on us. It's getting, when it crashes, it's actually going up pretty high. Joanne says that movie scared me so much. Isn't it funny in retrospect how like simple those movies are, and yet probably because of how simple they are and how sort of mundane, that's what makes them scary.
and they have like an old submarine.
The pink in the sky is really amazing. But the sky tonight, as compared to the last couple, is a little muddled. Like it's a little, how should I say this? A little dingy. It's not as clear. But we take what we can get. Yeah, it was like classic formation. Christian mentions Whataburger, more famous in the south of the United States. It's kind of the South's sort of equivalent to like an In-N-Out. You know, fast food, but ostensibly higher quality and better service. Okay, so we're on the Hudson River Greenway. And if you don't know, New York City has lots of viaducts. And some of the West Side Highway runs above us right now. So you're going to start to hear a little bit of the noise. Scott asked if I ever seen the horror movie The Sentinel set in Brooklyn Heights. No, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out later. Maybe Lisa can make a note of it. So we're coming up on Pier I. And I even read a book about the waterfront, yet I somehow don't know the answer to this question myself. But why are some of the piers lettered and some of them numbered? So this is Pier I, and I know in the Battery there's Pier A, but like just up ahead is the, I think like sanitation department, and I think that's like Pier 95. So why are some numbered and some lettered? If anybody's a real whiz with Google and can help us understand the difference, I would appreciate it. Sue K says, did somebody mention Whataburger? Not much for fast food, but it's the best. And their vanilla milkshakes are amazing. Even airport Whataburgers are pretty good. It is funny. I think Shake Shack is similar, where no matter where they are, they uphold a pretty high standard. Must have to do with their, maybe they either don't franchise and they're corporate owned, or they have really, really tight, they must have really tight franchising rules if they do. It's a good question. Bernard says, yes, the pier numbers and letters can get confused. Yeah, I don't know, I don't understand why some, because these two piers, which are basically next to each other, but there's so many piers that I don't think it's just every other. I don't know. If anybody knows the answer, I'm very curious. So for those people who are really into trains, there was like switching stations and stuff over here. A lot of the old railroad infrastructure. It's not as easy to see all this at night. I have many walks from here during the daytime. So if you want to see like with more detail, you can check out older walks. But some of the stuff incorporated it into the park, so it's just permanently part of it, hopefully being maintained. Oh, I should say, I don't want to overpromise, but I did create an Instagram for the channel, so if you want to follow Bagels and Walks on Instagram, I'm going to start to post some of my pictures there. And one day, perhaps, we will make an option where you can buy a print, because some of them are actually pretty good, if I say so myself. I think it's not about my photography skills, if any, it's being in the right place at the right time. Oh, looks like there's going to be a dancing class here. Again, I say, how romantic. That's amazing. Sunset dancing on the Hudson River. Where's Prince Ice? Our channel romantic. Adam says, starting at where the numbered streets begin, if you subtract 40 from the pier number, you will get the street number. So for example, Pier 62 at Chelsea Piers is at 22nd Street. Oh, that's a great tip. I did not know that. So that sort of makes sense. So I think the pier that we're coming up to is Pier 95, if I remember correctly. So that would be about 55th Street. And I'm just trying to remember because Freedom Place is over here. That does sound about right. Yeah. That's good to know. I always love those tips. It's wonderful that we have the grid, but I actually don't know all those tips. That's cool. Thank you, Adam. Got a nice sailboat up ahead. Lots of people enjoying the waterfront. And I'm actually going to cut inside now because there's one more train site that we should check out. Yeah, the sky's actually looking spectacular tonight. Lisa says she loves the walk along the west side. Yeah. I wonder if it's behind us. Actually, I might have missed it. Oh well. There's a train engine that like kids can climb on and stuff. Maybe it's up ahead. I don't know. Oh, more geese. Look at all these geese. Lisa remembers we did a long stretch of the west side when she could keep up with me. We were walking the other day. Whew. Our current walking speeds are very incompatible right now. So for those who don't know, Lisa is very pregnant. Gooses, geeses, oh my. Starting to hear the helicopters. There's a Blade helicopter port not too far from us. Oh, here it is. We did not miss it. Let's go take a little look if we can. Let's see what the best way is. Oh, I'm glad we didn't miss it. New York Central. If you're really into trains, this is a cool area. Okay, so pieces of news for today. News items. I mentioned 2 years into this experiment, we now have Instagram. Again, let's manage our expectations, since I'd say my focus is more the videos than the photos, but we'll do what we can. Item number 2, in no particular order, we did just pass the 300,000 view threshold a few days ago. So big thank you to everybody for contributing to that. That's really cool. And number 3, I did get approved to get a press pass. So next time there's things like parades, if I'm going by myself at least, I should be able to hop the line and film from inside and get closer to the action. So some of the parades that we've been to where, you know, the barricades kind of get a little loosey-goosey and folks start walking in front of us, we should actually be able to walk right in front of them. But as they say, with great power comes great responsibility, so we will use our powers wisely. Lane asked, where is 14th Street in New York? So we're in the 50s. So it's about 2 miles south of us now. So every 20 blocks or so is about a mile. We're in the 50s. So it's about 2 miles south. That's the direction we're walking in. Check out how this, so again, I think this is like a sanitation department pier. Beautifully lit up. That's really cool. So we were at Riverside Park, then we were on the Hudson River Greenway. Now we're about to enter, up ahead, Hudson River Park. And if you ask me what the boundaries of everything are, I could not tell you. I think it's one of those things, though, where all Hudson River Park is part of the Greenway, but not all Greenway is part of Hudson River Park, because the Greenway makes up the entire waterfront.
It is pretty cool.
All right, folks. We love the water views, but we also love the building views. And it's starting to look really nice, isn't it? So up ahead is going to be kind of the Hudson Yards area, including the Edge and such buildings. Really beautiful. Scott says, haven't been over here myself in years. Probably 7 years ago, he says. Rocking the river cruise. So
how many more blocks over there?
Pier 96 here. So maybe that was Pier 99. I'm trying to remember what the sanitation pier is called. Maybe it's 99.
I have a lot of questions. A lot of questions.
Oh, what was I going to say though? I mean, all the cruises are great, but I think my favorite thing right now is just take the NYC Ferry. Each ticket is only $275, and it's good for, I think each ticket is good for like an hour and a half. So for example, if you're on the Upper East Side, you can take the Astoria or the Soundview route south, go to Wall Street, Pier 11, and as long as you've timed it correctly, you can probably hop on another ferry. So for example, the ferry to Rockaway Beach, all for $275. And they have reasonably affordable drinks. So sometimes what Lisa and I would do is, get a couple of ferry tickets, so $5, and then a couple of beers on the boat. And like for $20, you'd have a great time. So, obviously the other ones that cost more, could be longer rides, might be a little more amenities and so forth. Some folks want to do the, dinner cruises or brunch cruises, for example. Geese, more geese everywhere. But if you just want the ride and the views, try out the ferry. And then obviously the other one, which I think is unfortunately having some difficulties right now, is the Staten Island ferry. The Staten Island ferry is great. You get to see the Statue of Liberty, and the Staten Island ferry is free. The challenge is they're having apparently big time staffing issues right now, and so I think it's normally supposed to be like every half hour, very reliably, and now sometimes it's every hour. And depending on what's going on with your day, that can be a little tricky. But the boat ride itself is great, and the views are spectacular. All right, so we're in this Pier 94. This is the Manhattan cruise terminal area, which I guess are a thing again. So if you're on a cruise coming into or out of Manhattan specifically. There's another one in Brooklyn. There's another in Bayonne, New Jersey, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this is the Manhattan cruise terminal. And in a little while, we'll see the Intrepid. And I actually don't know that I've seen the Intrepid at night, so I'm kind of excited to see that. Scott says it's really weird seeing a full concert on a boat. I feel like I should not make a Titanic joke right now, but that's what immediately went into my mind. My apologies. It's so bad, sorry. There's a really lovely park over here. So that was Pier 92 and minus 40, so 52. And I'm pretty sure this is 53rd Street, so, or is it even 52nd? Well, Adam, I think your pier math equation is spot on. Well done, good find. I will have to commit that to memory. So pier minus 40 equals street. That's a great tip. So I love the Greenway, but over here it's a little precarious. The separation between the bikes and the walking path is pretty minimal. So you just gotta try to be pretty aware of your surroundings. Scott just watched Titanic a few months ago. Adam says, never seen it, I refuse. I already know how it's gonna end. That's funny. I think it's on Netflix right now. I think I saw it on the list. Lisa and I have been watching a very interesting combination that you probably wouldn't guess. But our movie series right now, we often watch movies as series, either thematically or because there's just a bunch of them. So for example, Indiana Jones or something. But for a film series, and then for like theme, we did like sports movies for a while. But right now we're watching the Predator series. And then for TV, we're watching the Great British Baking Show. Somehow it feels like an ideal combination. All right, once we pass the piers here, we'll be able to see the Intrepid. And if somebody wants to be a channel hero for a second and find us like the intro paragraph from Wikipedia on the Intrepid, that might be fun. Lisa says it's called balance. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Couldn't have put it better myself. Adam says he's watching so many different series on Hulu, a lot missed over the past 10 years. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff. And quite a bit of it is actually decent. It's not like it's all garbage. I spent a while earlier trying to clean my lenses, and I think it's doing okay with the glare. Hopefully it's all right. It's a little baby in that stroller, but it was another one of those super short strollers. All right, we have our information. The Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum is an American military and maritime history museum in New York City with a collection of museum ships. It is located at Pier 86 at 46th Street along the Hudson River. Thank you, Adam. Ooh, and I have to tell you guys, they must be doing some work in the sewers because it smells terrible all of a sudden. It smells so bad. That sucks. And like the cars are driving through the liquid, whatever it is. I really don't want to know what it is, and it's kind of spraying. And I'm like I'm trying to move as far to the right as I can because I don't want that on me. So gross. Oh, sweet. So it's really lit up. This is good. This is good.
That's what they did. Oh, they did the other song.
Well, folks, as I always say, you know you've made it when the bots come in. All right, we're gonna go up ahead just a little bit and try to get a really good view. Chris MG is here. You missed my previous hello. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chris, but it's good to see you. Thanks for hopping on. Always good to see you.
Oh yeah!
Are you still in the Caribbean? And when are you headed back to the UK? Let me know.
You did. But by this time, she ain't cool.
All right, I think we're gonna stop temporarily up ahead so I can hydrate. It is 80 degrees, in fact. Adam's saying I'm getting a lot of them tonight too, yeah. Well, like I said, you know you've made it. Clinton says he loves this view, yeah. I think it's really good. And I mean, maybe I have, but I don't really remember seeing it at night. It's really beautiful. And you can see there are people on it, so the museum must still be open. If you've never been, I mean, it is a really interesting museum, but it's if you've never been on like an American military ship, it's tight quarters. I've hit my head many times. All right, bear with me a sec. We're gonna hydrate a little bit. If there's some rustling, I apologize. Probably gonna move the mic a little bit. What do they call that when you can when you're really disturbed by the sound of somebody who eats? Misophonia or something? I can already hear Lisa saying, "Why do you know the word misophonia?" I have no idea. Ah, delicious. Ooh, save the rest. Really, this sounds like a lot of people around here. Adam says, whatever you did sound. Yeah, I'm near like a. There's a big fountain over here, and the kids are playing in it. Chris has said she's never seen the ship before. It's really something, huh? It's gigantic. And it wasn't as lit up, so I didn't go look at it, but near it is a submarine as well. I think a World War II submarine. Yeah, we're back. The microphone kind of moves around. It's on my bag. So probably moved it a little bit. We are back. So Scott was mentioning the cruises. This is, at least where I'm familiar with, where you pick them up. So if you're leaving from Manhattan on a dinner cruise, for example, or the Green Boat, which is like one of those speed boats, I think they're all around here. But check out these skyline views. Gorgeous. There's the speedboat I was just talking about. So time check, 8:24. Does anybody want to do me a favor? I'm sorry I'm keeping asking for favors. But does anybody want to look up the New York City Ferry, West Side 39th Street, and tell me when the next one departs going to Battery Park City? West Side 39th Street, New York City Ferry. I think it's like every half hour. I just can't remember if it left at 8:15 or if it leaves at 8:30. Because if it's leaving in a reasonable amount of time, maybe we'll hop on it and go downtown, shortcut style. Let me know. Of course. 8:44. Well, that's not what I meant. Is it? Departing. I guess we'll wait. Let me see if I can get a ticket for the ferry. We want the New York City ferry. Chris is here. Good to see you. New York City ferry. English, press C. One way. Number of tickets. Okay. 275. Just bear with me. I'm going to futz with the camera for a second. Let's try that. All right, folks, this is a big experiment. This may be an utter failure. But we're going to try to take the ferry downtown. Leaves in 10 or 15 minutes. We have our ticket. Oh my gosh, by the way, it's air conditioned in here. Feels so good. That's okay, yeah, there's so many ferries. So this, so we're gonna take the St. George route. St. George is where the ferry stops in Staten Island, but we're gonna get off before then. We're just gonna take it to, I mean, we could take it to Staten. I think we're just gonna take it to Battery Park City though. All right, it sounds like everybody's having some difficulties. The ferry website, I mean, I love the ferry, but I hear you. It's not always the most user-friendly thing. If you're just going on the west side, excuse me, on the east, so like to Wall Street, they run fairly frequently. But this is a newer route, and there's been a lot of problems with ferry service in Staten Island, so I just didn't know how frequently, but we can wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So here's the plan. We're going to attempt a ferry ride. I've never tried to stream on a ferry before. It might be great. It might be terrible. We'll find out. But my hope is, if nothing else, we're going to get some really spectacular views. And worst case, I should get a copy of the video. So if the stream kind of conks out a little bit, I'll post the video. So the sound you're hearing is I'm on the pier and it's moving up and down with the water. It's really moving. Must be, I think it's going to be a bumpy boat ride. So if you have green gills, this may not be the ride for you. Lisa M says, given how things have been going this week, please don't miss your Battery Park stop. Lisa can't fetch you from Staten Island. I mean, I'm debating whether we should go to Staten Island because then we would see the Statue of Liberty. The challenge is that the ferry from there is more infrequent. Should we just do it? Should we just do it? Are we going to try it? We'll try it. What's the worst that could happen? Well, I kind of know the worst that can happen is I have 47% battery, so the worst that can happen is probably that we'll run out of juice along the way. That's okay. All right, folks, we're going to try it. We're going all in, as they say. In the meantime, we have about a 10-minute wait here for our boat to come, so do me a favor. Make yourself a spritz. Actually, do me a favor. In the chat, let me know your favorite drink. Let us know the recipe for your favorite drink. Maybe Lisa can share her famous martini recipe. And if you have a favorite drink recipe, let me know. So we'll catch our boat in about 10 minutes or so. So primarily this is the New York waterway area. So I think folks who come from New Jersey, for example, usually I think it lets out here, and they offer free bus transportation inside the city. So a lot of folks commute this way. It's pretty cool. But they recently added a New York City ferry route here. It's funny because it's the first, as far as I know, ferry route, New York City ferry route that goes along the west side. Lisa says, so much for a sunset stream. You know, we kind of missed it. And this has been in the back of my mind of like, let's try a ferry stream. I'm deeply questioning how the network's going to hold up, but if it even works half of the time and it freezes with the Statue of Liberty on the screen, like that'll be a win. So we'll see what happens. All right, we got some drinks. Clinton, very, very simple, very straightforward. Margaritas, period. I had a strawberry margarita tonight with dinner. Ambrose says, cherry flavored Kool-Aid. God, that actually sounds really nice right now. Probably gonna have the rest of my water on the boat, and maybe I'll get some more back in Staten Island. Lisa says the ice cream. I'm supposed to be bringing her on the way home. There are 2 ice creams in the freezer. It's not the specific one she wants tonight, but there are 2 ice creams in the freezer. Adam would like a Singapore sling right now. Best he ever had was at the bar in the Intercontinental Barclay, and they took it off the menu. How rude. When we were in Edinburgh, which is one of the last trips we took, last like serious trips we took, we were at a hotel bar. There's like, I'm gonna forget the name of the hotel, but it was not where we were staying, but there were a couple of like really famous older hotels, and we went to the bar, and I had a gin and tonic, and they made it with ginzu, which was a gin made with sake. And so, you know, that was kind of floral, and then it was with the, you know, made up as gin tonic. It was really good. Chris MG. So I know it's Granada, right? So Grenadian, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Grenadian rum punch with nutmeg. Wow. That sounds nice. That sounds very, that sounds like a great evening drink. Like by a fire or something. Too difficult, huh? That's a bummer. Lisa, there was an Italian restaurant we went to only a couple times, but in Chelsea, near 6th Avenue, near like 17th, 18th, 19th Street, something like that. Oh, I see the boat coming. That is our boat. That made the fanciest cocktails, and I just remember I would get like their version, I think, of a gin and tonic, and it came in like a big, beautiful round glass filled with what you would call mulch. Wonder what the name of that place was. All right, so this is the boat we're going to be taking. The bar that has the most extensive gin and tonic offerings and pairings is the Winslow on East 14th Street. Ooh, I've never even heard of the Winslow. I'll have to check that out sometime. All right, folks, our chariot awaits. So you can see this is the St. George route of the New York City Ferry. Oh, at least it says foliage, excuse me. Foliage. I said mulch. Whoops. At least it does not like foliage in a beverage.
It's called gross, right? Disgusting what they take out.
Thank you.
Who's fiking? Why they're taking all my money? Sorry, when I see Fike, he owes me something. And my uncle, I've never seen him, but he's always in my pocket.
It's a decent number of folks, huh? I didn't think there'd be anybody. Joanne says those Mio water enhancer cranberry raspberry. Used to love a Long Island iced tea.
I work so much out of town for Ferry. You're all good to go.
Okay, so we're gonna walk to the back, and then we'll walk upstairs. Okay, it should be a little emptier tonight. So last time I took the boat, there were so many people, I stayed at the back by the engines. So I wasn't disturbing anybody, but it's so loud back there. So hopefully we'll have a good view tonight. Okay. All right, I'm gonna drink a little more water. Bear with me. We're back in action, folks. We're well hydrated. Let me play with the joystick a little here and we'll try to get you some good views. So this is the Hudson Yards area. So this is the Midtown West New York City ferry stop at 39th Street. The first stop is going to be Battery Park City, so we're going to get some really nice views of Lower Manhattan. And then I think we're just gonna keep going, and we'll take it to Staten Island, and we'll see the Statue of Liberty. We'll see, I think, Governor's Island on our left. We'll see New Jersey, Jersey City. It's gonna be great. Baby's breath. I have to say though that Ambrose's suggestion of the cherry Kool-Aid. It makes me want a Gatorade right about now. So if you just joined, we are on board the New York City Ferry. It's going to get very loud when it leaves. But we're going to take it south on the Hudson River. We're going to go to Battery Park City, and then we're going to go to Staten Island. And along the way, we should get a pretty spectacular view of the Statue of Liberty. And I'm excited because it should be lit up for night. Time check 8:43. I think it said it's an 8:44 boat, so it looks like the gentleman who's working the pier is coming back on board, so we should be leaving pretty shortly. Yeah, it looks like he just put the rope up. Yeah, we should be moving shortly. Scott, good to see you. Welcome back. We are on board a New York City ferry. Gonna head down the Hudson River, check out Lower Manhattan and the Statue of Liberty.
Hey, you got people. We got 1 more minute still.
Yep. Somebody's running up the pier to get on. It reminds me of, cruise ships when folks miss the port call. Adam says, great view from here. Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend folks check out the New York City Ferry. It's one of the most affordable things you can do in the city, and severely underrated, I think. And this particular route, I mean, I've only been on it a couple of times so far, and I'm guessing there's times during the day that I've not been on it yet that it's much busier, but the times I've been on it is not very busy, so you eat easily. And we should get some pretty spectacular views. Some really, fingers crossed that the network will hold up. Missy Muss is here. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a little bit. Good to see you, Missy. Thank you for hopping on. Looks to me like they just let those last folks on. Looks like they're doing one more check of the boat, and that is our signal. Away we go.
Next stop, Battery Park.
Away we go. So I actually think for this leg, we actually want to be on the other side, so that we'll see Manhattan as we go down. And then we'll come to this side to see Statue of Liberty. Ambrose says, bon voyage. All right, again, heads up. It's going to get very loud. There's the Empire State Building. Missy, it's $275 per person. It is a very bumpy ride today. In the very far distance, that's One World Trade Center. It's where we're headed now. Middle of the frame is the vessel at Hudson Yards. That's the World Trade Center, Freedom Tower. Now we're going by Chelsea Piers. The Empire State Building is just spectacular. I think it's my favorite when they just do the plain white lights. Gonna be hard to see, but little island. our first stop is going to be Battery Park City. That's it right now, coming into frame. Let me show you New Jersey as well. It's really beautiful tonight. The wind feels great. Tell them to light up Little Island. I know, it's so dark right now, right? You could hardly see it. So this is where we're headed. Battery Park City. One World Trade Center up ahead. You can see the Woolworth building lit up. I mean, I would say Lower Manhattan at night is one of the best views. That's why I always tell people if you're going to do the Brooklyn Bridge, you should probably do it once during the day and then again do it at night so you can see the Lower Manhattan skyline lit up. And again, this is $2.75, so it's like, in my mind, that's an unbelievable value. Isn't this great? And you can still see the top of the Empire State Building. Kate Bailey's here. Good to see you. We're taking a nighttime ride on the New York City Ferry. We're just at Battery Park City now. So they're going to let folks off and on here. Probably be a couple minutes, and then we'll be onwards to Staten Island and the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island along the way. GX72 is here, hey. Directly in front of us is the Irish Hunger Memorial. Make a break for it. I kept thinking about it, but I think we've committed. We're going to try to see the statue. I think we are committed. I zoomed in on it a little while ago. I had to go to 6 to get it. So that's the Statue of Liberty. So we're going to head in that direction. Just a moment. Wow, you were not kidding about the bots. So I made a critical error earlier. Well, I disabled some of Nightbot's features, and I do think that in doing so, I've made it a little more bot friendly, and I think I'll have to figure that out. My apologies to the moderators for making your life more difficult. Felix is here. Hello, Felix. So we are on a New York City ferry.
Next stop, St. George.
We're on the New York City Ferry. We are at Battery Park City, overlooking Freedom Tower. And in a moment, we're going to start moving again. The next stop is St. George, Staten Island. And along the way, we're going to get a pretty epic view of the Statue of Liberty. And I'm really excited because it'll be lit up for night. My lovely wife Lisa, bot hunting tonight. Not on our watch. Clinton says, at least I know where the best adult site is now. Just incredible. The smartest engineers in the world, and this is what we get. All right, folks, we are moving again. So I'll probably do some of the other, it has been my plan to take a video of every single ferry route. I'll probably have to do more of them as recordings as opposed to live, because from my experience just being on them, I see the cell signal go way down. So we'll see how this goes. Off we go. Yeah, that's the city has the Pepsi Cola sign, and Jersey City has the Colgate clock. So along the way we're going to see the there's a train terminal, Ellis Island, and the Statue of Liberty.